Before the stolen cars and the bank robberies, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were just two kids from small-town Texas, yearning for excitement. Few knew their desperation or the simmering rage against a rigged system. This is the story of Bonnie and Clyde before the legend. Their names would become synonymous with the violence of the Great Depression. But before the fear, they were just two souls searching for more. This is their journey from small-town anonymity to America's criminal underworld. Born in 1910, Bonnie Parker knew hardship from a young age. Her father, a bricklayer, died when she was just 4, plunging her family into poverty. Forced to move to the slums of West Dallas, Bonnie witnessed firsthand the brutal realities of life on the margins. Despite her circumstances, Bonnie possessed a sharp mind and a thirst for beauty. She excelled in school, writing poetry and dreaming of a life beyond the squalor of her surroundings. At 16, desperate for escape, Bonnie married Roy Thornton, a small-time crook. The marriage was tumultuous and short-lived, with Thornton soon landing in prison for robbery. Bonnie, still legally bound to him, found herself alone and adrift, her dreams of a storybook romance dashed against the rocks of reality. It was during these years, haunted by poverty and a failed marriage, that Bonnie's rebellious spirit began to surface. Clyde Barrow, born in 1909, came from a struggling sharecropper family. Life in rural Texas was harsh, marked by poverty. Despite a brief period as a church-going teenager, Clyde was drawn to trouble. At 16, he was arrested for stealing a car. This began a cycle of detention and prison. By his early 20s, Clyde had become a hardened criminal. West Dallas, in the early 1930s, was a melting pot of desperation. The Great Depression had ravaged the country, leaving millions jobless and hopeless. It was in this pressure cooker of poverty and despair that Bonnie and Clyde's paths collided. Their meeting was the stuff of gangster law, a chance encounter at a friend's house that would ignite a firestorm. Bonnie, trapped in a loveless marriage, saw in Clyde a kindred spirit, someone who understood her restless yearning for something more. Clyde, fresh out of prison and spoiling for a fight, was drawn to Bonnie's beauty and fiery spirit. Their connection was instant, electric, a shared defiance against a world that had dealt them a bad hand. In each other's eyes, they saw a reflection of their own desires, their own dreams of escape, their own simmering rage against the dying of the light. Before their names became synonymous with bank robberies and shootouts, Bonnie and Clyde's criminal activities were small-time, almost amateurish. Petty thefts, gas station stick-ups, their crimes were driven more by necessity and a thirst for thrills than any grand plan. But with each daring act, their confidence grew, their legend taking shape. One particular incident, a botched robbery at a Texas grocery store, proved pivotal. Clyde, always quick to anger, shot and killed the store owner, marking a turning point in their criminal careers. From that moment on, there was no turning back. They were no longer just Bonnie and Clyde, the restless kids from Texas. They were killers, fugitives, their names whispered in fear and fascination. The die was cast, and their descent into a maelstrom of violence and notoriety had begun. The path from small-time crooks to notorious outlaws is paved with desperation, fueled by a potent cocktail of circumstance and choice. For Bonnie and Clyde, their early experiences, marked by poverty, broken dreams, and a simmering rage against a system that seemed rigged against them, laid the groundwork for their descent into a life of crime. They were products of their environment, shaped by the harsh realities of Depression-era America. But they were also architects of their own destiny, choosing to embrace a life outside the law, a life of fleeting thrills and devastating consequences. Their story, though ultimately tragic, serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even amidst the ruins, even when hope seems lost, the choices we make determine the course of our lives.
Perfect.